is faster than the speed of sound. At an early age you wanted to get out, to pursue adventures all around. Things got tough sometimes, but it's all good, cause Tails is his best friend. He's always there for him, he's his sidekick. Through bad and good times over and over again. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loved adventures in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the IDW Sonic Rundown, although it's a little different because we're technically not doing IDW today. We're technically doing the DC Sonic crossover released last year, 5 issues, and what can I say other than it generally was just a fun time?
I agree. I had a great time with these. I think that there's some inklings there of potential, like, oh my god, wait, they could actually make some really good content with this in the future. But for what it's worth, this was not only really fun, engaging, and entertaining, but also just a good showcase that, like, not every crossover necessarily has to be super plot relevant. Sometimes the best thing to do is to tell a simple story, have it be fun, and have great character interaction. Mind you, I think that, you know, if we're going to talk about crossovers, I feel like it's kind of obvious that we have to talk about the prior crossovers before this, which was the Sonic Mega Man one, right?
To compare that, I feel like comparing those two is like an apples and oranges type comparison, because the Mega Man Sonic crossovers were like pretty plot relevant, especially to Archie Sonic, like on top of that. But here, it sort of existed like this nebulous situation where even Ian was not like clear on whether or not it was canon or not. He said it would be like clearer later. The way the comic ends doesn't really bring anything up, so I think maybe he's referring to like the future of it. Because to kind of get ahead of ourselves, they did announce when this whole project, the Sonic DC crossover project, was announced. They said it would be a crossover comic released in 2025, and then in 2026, they would get a sequel. So that hasn't been announced officially as of yet, or at least the solicitations haven't come out. So we're still waiting to see what exactly that could mean as to whether or not... I mean, it most likely is canon. Like, we don't need to brush around this, but it's just a very weird, like... I don't know why he phrased it like that. Or maybe like Sega said, like, don't be clear about certain things.
I mean, to me, right now, we're just kind of considering this in its own little bubble. Like, let's just pretend that most of IDW doesn't exist, and we're just kind of dealing with the general Sonic characters right now. So, let's just go ahead, let's take a second, let's take a deep breath together, friends, and then let's just enjoy the ride. We don't have to worry about Surge, we don't have to worry about Kid, we don't have to worry about deep plot writing. We're here to have a good time. And have some hype moments in Aura too, because you know I mean,
like, honestly, you could describe this crossover as you got hype moments in Aura. Yep, and we got good writing too.
Wow, what a concept, you know. All right, well, let's get right into it. DC X Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 1. Ian Flynn is writing the whole thing. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep, and Adam Bryce Thomas is the artist for the whole thing as well.
Before we start, I also do want to say the art in all of these issues is absolutely amazing, and the more time has passed, the more that Adam Bryce Thomas is becoming one of my absolute favorite artists in all of Sonic. I think that his art has continued to get better year on year on year on year, and we are really starting to see that come to fruition. He is just an incredible artist.
Agreed, and on top of that, the way he drew the DC characters perfectly meshes with Sonic. Perfectly.
It's really small, but there's a very deep connection that you can see between the two, like, character art styles, and it makes me really happy because he's really good at drawing these dumb fucking anthropomorphs, and he's also really good at drawing human characters too. Hey Sega, all I'm saying is that maybe we should just include some regular human characters in the Sonic comics, but you know, that's just me.
You know, it's just a thought. Maybe, you know, the people like the crossover comic, maybe you should take that into consideration for the future. Just a thought. Okay. Just a thought.
Okay. But enough yapping, let's start. So, we open. Sonic, Tails, and Amy are having a picnic. When, as you know, they normally do, a giant spaceship of some kind descends from Earth, and it doesn't look too happy. It's like a death egg, but with a big sad mouth and an Omega symbol on it.
Fire smoldering out of its eyes, and they stance up, Amy commenting that is definitely not the little planet, which I remember when like the previews first came out and people already from the jump were complaining about Ian Flynn's referential writing. Look, it makes sense in context, and we're going to be bringing this up, like, again later on in this crossover, but this is one where, like, it actually does make sense in context, because they're eating at the Never Lake. They're waiting for the little planet to appear, so that's why she said that.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, this is an in-universe context reference. This is not, like, nostalgia pandering slop. It's okay. Guys, it's fine. Look, I get it. We're tired of the reference humor, and don't worry, there's some references in here which, while cool, did make me roll my eyes. We don't need to comment about it every time. Sometimes it makes sense in context. This is an example of that.
Yes. So, from the ship comes out the invasion force. They're called parademons, effectively. Like, quadpetal wings, freaky looking things. The three can hold their own against all of them, but they just keep flowing in. So, Sonic just decides to grab Tails and Amy and rush off to get some space. And when he boosts off, Tails and Amy think that it's possible more portals are opening up in other places around the world, so Sonic tells them to hang tight, we'll make this quick. Then we move to Angel Island, where a voice tells how, according to the Father Box, this place is held aloft by the Master Emerald and protected by a lone guardian. So this is also another instance of, like, Ian Flynn doing his homework real good, because the Father Box has not been relevant to the DC comics since fucking Flashpoint.
That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big comics guy. I read the Sonic comics, but I'm not like a big comics guy. I do want to change that at some point, and there's some storylines that I'm really interested in reading. But if you are somebody who is interested in comics, this is actually a very respectful comic crossover. While it is generally pretty, accessible, there's a lot of deep cut references and a lot of stuff that most people won't get, which is cool. And honestly, our main villain of this whole thing, who we're about to see, is definitely not a deep cut, but he's definitely somebody that I'm glad that they chose. Because it feels right, is what I would say.
Oh, absolutely. We see Knuckles near the Master Emerald altar and fighting off parademons on his own, as in the ship, we see our central villain, Darkseid. So this is sort of the kind of ultimate big bad of the DC universe, if you will.
For those that don't know, I can give you a general overview. Darkseid is really, really, really mad. He's just a super chud, and he just hates everyone so much he wants to destroy all life by creating what's called the anti-life equation. Essentially what this does is it just destroys everything in the universe and reduces everything to zero.
A super chud is definitely what I would call him too.
I mean, honestly, I feel like there's no better description for him, right?
Right. So, with Darkseid is his agent, Desaad, telling him how the Master Emerald can neutralize what they're seeking. So he orders it destroyed. Desaad is reluctant to destroy a token of arcane power, but after he gets what he seeks, power will not be a concern again. Knuckles was able to push back the Parademon force, but he notices the ship above powering up a cannon shot and fires directly on top of him and the Master Emerald. Knuckles was saved at the last second, but the Master Emerald takes the full brunt of the power, overflowing with energy, and explodes, leaving it and Angel Island to fall into pieces in the ocean below. So, starting this story off, we're not even at 100, we've already jumped it up to 1,000 by just destroying the fucking Master Emerald.
Nah, man, look, man, that shit has been rebuilt how many times at this point? It's fine!
It's fine! Well, meanwhile, Sonic, Tails, and Amy are heading towards Sunset City, with more parademons invading. Sonic decides to boost ahead on his own, and as he does, he ends up keeping pace with another speedster, the Flash, and this is Barry Allen for the record. They kind of don't make it clear, but I think in the Spanish translation, they do say it is Barry Allen.
Yes, obviously, one of the core tenets of this crossover is that the Sonic characters have a respective team-up partner, somebody who mirrors their traits. Who else was it going to be for Sonic, right?
Exactly.
And let me tell you, these two, it's a spicy meatball. The dialogue and banter between these two is nothing short of perfect. It's quippy and it's dick ridey in the best way possible. These two are at odds with each other. It is fantastic.
But it's very funny because Sonic definitely just treats it like his relationship with Shadow, almost. Like, he doesn't take him super seriously.
And I think that's the good part, because as the comic goes on and as the banter continues, they start to actually take each other more seriously. but they still quip like they're fucking fine. It's great.
Yeah. Flash confused Sonic with someone else, but tells him to hang back as he handles the parademons. Oh, that's adorable. You can help if you can keep up. Well, listen, kid. I'm the Flash. I'm Speed personified, which makes Sonic smirk, boost forward, saying, then I am Speed perfected. Just one exchange and you can already see what we're talking about.
Yeah, they're already going at it. This is the kind of shit I wanted to see from this crossover, and I am very glad there's tons more of it in spades.
So Sonic and the Flash immediately get on each other's wavelength and run through a loop and into the city. And in the city, we see Silver trying to keep parademons contained, but ends up giving a clear shot for them to be taken down by Green Lantern, John Stewart to be specific, and thank God it's him. I don't want to fucking deal with Hal Jordan. I hate that guy.
Yay! I love seeing John Stewart. We both grew up with the 2000s era Justice League, and John Stewart is just who I generally consider to be the Green Lantern. Mind you, Hal Jordan is not bad. It's just I grew up with John Stewart, and I like John Stewart as a character, and he's really cool. So
well,
seeing him and Silver
my
together
irk comes from because I grew up watching the Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. It's irrelevant. You know, hey, look, it's John Stewart, guys. Green Lantern.
Anyway, the two hit it off as Green Lantern says his powers come from limited issue alien tech. As for Silver, being asked if he's a metahuman, he says, "No, I'm just a hedgehog." Oh, just, he says. Well, honestly, it's fair. You see fucking Silver the Hedgehog throwing shit around with his mind. It's like, yeah, you're just a hedgehog. Okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy. So they focus on clearing the skies so that eventually they can make their way to the ground level. Meanwhile, on the ground, a parademon is chasing a mother and her child before Shadow the Hedgehog and motherfucking Bruce Wayne slam into this guy together. No words, complete silence, lock eyes, and immediately start running off together. Now, friends, I have to say this up front. There is no better duo that you could have picked. I really do mean that. Two broody, edgy, angsty guys with deep backstories involving their trauma and their past, and the fact that they don't even have to say a word because they know what they have to do. Ooh. His writing is this fire?
It's true, folks.
Seriously though, this duo pair up is just, it's absolutely awesome. And some of the stuff they do later, there's a particular section we're going to have a little diatribe about, which I think is one of my favorite things they've done in a really long time.
Amy and Tails move into the city as they see a giant tearing through the streets, and they can't make a dent on it until it gets lassoed down by Wonder Woman, hit dead in its chest by a beam shot from Cyborg. So that's a 2-for-2 introduction right there, and now that we've kind of seen everyone, I can say that their character design specifically, they all kind of...
Hey, we're missing one, and don't you forget him, but we'll get to him in just a second.
Technically, I just want to say, for everyone character design-wise, like we said, they're all great, but character design-wise, they all take a little bit of something from, like, previous incarnations. I'll speak more about it in a second, but I do genuinely like how Adam Bryce Thomas chose to design everybody.
Yes, I like all the character designs for the Justice League. Diana Ross obviously needs no introduction. Fucking Wonder Woman, man. What a great character. God, I hope that they fix that writing. I hear Absolute Wonder Woman is kind of a complete mess right now. And Cyborg, we have Victor Stone here. Cyborg has been an interesting case as he's had a lot of iterations. Obviously, the one that most people know around our age is the Teen Titans iteration, of course, because we all grew up with that. But, you know, a lot of people know him now from Justice League and then Snyder Cut. And, you know, I can't lie, Cyborg in Snyder Cut was pretty decent, even if I think Zack Snyder's an Omega act. So, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see Cyborg here, though. I liked seeing Cyborg.
I will say, as far as Cyborg goes, I mean, him being, like, affiliated with the Teen Titans was because of that cartoon, and this is sort of one of those instances where the comics are sort of, like, forced to adapt with what the popular view of the character is, and, I mean, it's been, like, decades now since then, so they adapted to it pretty well eventually, but it was kind of bizarre originally, because they aged him down to be part of the Teen Titans in the show and all that.
Yeah, exactly. But, however, a mook appears before the four, saying, enlist as many animals as you want, Wonder Woman. All will be led to the slaughter before Kalibak. before Knuckles just beats the shit out of him classically, right? Saying that was for dropping my island out of the sky. Saying I hardly felt that. And then Superman shows up.
Hits him with like the lariat down, pushing him into the concrete and leaving him in a crater. I wasn't finished with him, Superman. Sorry, Knuckles. Thanks for softening him up for me. I especially love Superman's design in this comic as well, because you can kind of tell that Adam chose specifically the My Adventures with Superman design as the base for this.
Yeah, it's like a mix of like 90s animated series Superman with the My Adventures with Superman design. They kind of melded the two. Do we even have to talk about Superman? Clark fucking Kent, bro. Victim of God's worst writers, but it's okay. James Gunn will save this man, as he has already started to do. It's fine, guys. It's okay.
I can't wait for Supergirl. It's gonna be great.
I hope Supergirl's good, and I hope it's not slop. I really hope it's not comic book slop.
Knuckles tells Amy and Tails that Angel Island was destroyed by these invaders, and he would have gone with it had Superman not saved him, and apologizes for not doing more. And then Batman and Shadow meet with the group, saying that there's a lull in the force so they can strategize, as Shadow asks, who are they and who are you? Sonic and the Flash arrive as well. Flash took down 49 parademons to Sonic's 48, but Sonic didn't count the ones he fought at Neverlake. Yeah.
Okay, man. Okay. Guys, stop the dick measuring contest for 5 seconds. Anyways, the two groups now fully converged. Says, anyone care to bring us up to speed? Especially for Flash, since he's so slow.
Not the time, buddy. Well, if you were half as fast as your mouth, Superman stops him and tells the gang that they are the Justice League. Superman starts, introduces himself the protector of truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, and goes around introducing the rest of the League. Wonder Woman, Princess of Themyscira, John Stewart of the Green Lantern Corps, the Flash, protector of Central City, and the fastest man alive, in his words, Cyborg, who enabled their league to reach their world, and Batman, protector of Gotham City. And then Sonic's turn. He introduces himself as the real fastest thing alive. Me and my friends aren't as organized, but we just go out and help as we see fit. Here's Tails, little brother and resident genius, my long-term bestie, Amy. He is not committing to that. Never.
Yeah, no. Sega. No. Come on, man. Come on. Look, man. Look. Stop the bit. No bits allowed. Keep going.
Knuckles, the toughest guy I know. Silver, a hero from the future. And Shadow, who calls himself the ultimate life form. So Knuckles says, all right, enough with the pleasantries. Who's responsible? How do we make him pay? Cyborg projects an image on his hand of Darkseid. He conquers worlds while looking for the anti-life equation. Wonder Woman adds they've stopped him before, but now he's made a transdimensional ship called the Ragnarok to seek power beyond their own multiverse. So this is just them saying that, like, much like the Archie Sonic Mega Man crossover, these two characters exist in separate world lines that just managed to find their way to each other through a lot of hard work.
Yeah, which is a convenient explanation, and there are little hints that maybe we'll get some more about this in the long-term future. But for right now, let's just assume, evil guy found a way to do it.
Evil guy found a way to do it. So Cyborg was able to pick up on the wide net Darkseid cast to find Sonic's Earth. Thankfully, Cyborg was able to make a boom tube to their world before things got real bad. Silver figures that this guy must be after the Chaos Emeralds them. Always with the emeralds, Sonic mutters.
I mean, yeah.
Tails explains that the emeralds are 7 gemstones of unlimited power. John saying that their fuel can fuel the Ragnarok and destroy countless worlds, or even just find the anti-life equation directly, Batman adds. On top of that, Darkseid blew up the only way to counter the emerald's powers. So Superman begins, we know what he's after, let's work together to come up with a plan. Until Shadow decides he wants no part of this, and walks away, you fucking dick.
I'll go from here. Superman says we'd value everyone's input before Batman cuts him off. I'll handle him. Who was it? What? The one you couldn't protect. The one you watched die in front of you. How would you... For me, it was my parents. I was too young, too weak to do anything. That pain, that anger, never leaves. I see it in you too. Her name was Maria. She was gunned down by the military while trying to keep me safe. Me, the ultimate life form. I swore I'd to never let it happen again. To protect the city, to protect the world, I would use every advantage at my disposal. That includes the Justice League. You're a valuable asset in stopping Darkseid. Likewise, we'd be valuable to you. Shadow passes Batman, returning to the scene. I see. you better be worth the trouble. All right, okay, stop. Let's talk. It's really easy to just be like, wow, that was really incredible. But like, let's sit for a second and let's talk about it. We have the clear link between the two, which is both of them being powerless as they watched people they loved die in front of them. Ironically, both by gunshot, right? And we also have the link of the fact that they're both tormented by this, and they feel that as a result, it is their mission to use everything at their disposal to protect the world, regardless of the consequences, right? And try and do good. That's why this is so perfect. They don't even dance around it. There's no bullshit. There's no No. They literally look at each other eye to eye, and they basically said, we're one and the same. Help us. We have to use every disposal at our advantage. This is cinema.
Folks, this is where the comic went from peak fiction to zenith fiction. Honestly, probably the single best, page Ian Flynn has ever written, and probably ever will write.
I don't know about that, but I think it's definitely up there. It's one of the best. It's one of the best they've ever done. And yes, you could make the argument that it's kind of self-referential in a way, but I think if you're gonna have Shadow involved in this crossover, you do have to give him a motivation, right? He doesn't want to deal with this shit. He's just like, look, I'm gonna go do my own thing and everything. But Batman reeling him back in and basically saying, hey, really think about it for a second and really think about what we have to do to achieve what we need to achieve. That's good character development. That's good writing. That shows that the two are intrinsically interlinked, and it makes the hero pairing even more pronounced. This is good shit, and this is some of the best stuff that this comic has to offer. There are a ton of more instances of this, by the way, not just for these two, but for other characters in general, but nothing ever gets as, intimate. And I really, really hope that if we ever do get that follow-up, which we're supposed to, I really hope we get more stuff like this with the other characters, where we have them maybe comparing their lives to one another and really starting to come to better understand each other.
Agreed. Back with the group, Tails explains they're experts in tracking these emeralds, but not under such time constraints. Cyborg asks what kind of tech he's got, and when Tails explains he's making a speculative quantum mapping algorithm, it's not really out of beta yet, though. And Cyborg does get a little stressed hearing that, but does want to see it for himself. Unfortunately, they don't have time for Tails to be tinkering in the shop, so the League offers split up and pair off with the locals to search for the emeralds. We can stay in touch with our comms. Let's be efficient about this. So everyone pairs off and they all go their separate ways. Tails and Cyborg go to his lab as Tails comments how they can swap ideas after all this is done. He's been working on an air cannon that he'd like new ideas for. The Cyborg says it may not be a great idea to route the energy through Tails' vital organs. Yeah, this guy's a little fucked up, to put it lightly.
He's been through a lot. Knuckles and Soups are flying together. Your whole world is gone and its remains poison you? That's too cruel. Maybe, but I cherish my life on Earth. It makes it all the more important I keep it safe. You're all right, Soups. You're all right.
Real. Amy and Wonder Woman fly together, with Amy amazed she can fly on her own, and Wonder Woman's amazed that Amy's car can transform, though Amy is even more impressed when Wonder Woman mentions that she has an invisible jet. I don't know why she has that, but, all right.
I mean, this is I still don't understand why she has a fucking invisible jet. There's no dialogue between Shadow and Batman. Shadow's on the chopper, and Batman's on a motorbike as well. Just normal things for them. They're just out there.
When Tails and Cyborg arrive to the lab, he's surprised to see Cyborg is able to upgrade his tech on the fly like that, so much so that Tails is able to finish the algorithm in seconds. Cyborg gives Tails assurances that the fact that he can interface with Tails' tech is a testament to his skill alone. Silver and John talk about the Green Lantern ring. Anything John wants to create, the ring can project. So Silver takes it as mind over matter, but better. As Sonic and the Flash run across the ocean together, Flash surprised to see that Sonic isn't tapped into the Speed Force or anything at all like that. Not even some kind of weird mad scientist treadmill accident. What you see is what you get. I'm just a hedgehog that loves adventure. So yeah, a little bit of that, but also shout out to Fleetway Sonic, I guess.
I guess. As they approach South Island, when in doubt, start from South Island and go from there, as they eventually come across Darkseid, looking out over the ocean with a Chaos Emerald in hand. It all starts with this, a gem containing the ultimate power. All right, Ian. Okay.
Hey, look, listen. At the end of the day, regardless how you feel, it's a fan service crossover for fun. This is kind of part of the show, in my opinion. It's part of the show.
This one's cool specifically because it's Darkseid saying it, so I'm like, all right, I can live with it. Anyways, that's issue 1. Great start. I really had a lot of fun, and I hope we're gonna get to continue to have more fun, and we absolutely will. All right, issue 2. Ian Flynn writing, Adam Bryce Thomas on art. So, after once again proclaiming that the gem contains the ultimate power, Sonic and the Flash look at him, and Sonic asks if that's the guy. Whatever you faced in the past, consider him worse. Cool, I like a challenge.
Sonic and the Flash break in. Sonic trying to distract Darkseid while Flash tries to grab the emerald out of his hand, but he's too sturdy to feel anything, grips the emerald hard, and grabs Flash's leg and throws him and Sonic off. Having pissed him off now, Darkseid fires Omega beams from his eyes, which these lasers just end up following Flash and Sonic around, and they change direction on top of that. So, not being able to shake it off, Flash tells Sonic to come toward each other, you go high, I go low, leaving the beams to clash in at each other, and the explosion leaves them winded, which gives Darkseid enough time to open a boom tube and escape with the Chaos Emerald, Flash having to call the League to report that Darkseid got away with the Emerald. Sonic wasn't fast enough to get it. Hey!
These guys, I swear to God. Alright, keep going.
Knuckles and Superman, flying together, have not been able to find anything. Amy and Wonder Woman in the Mystic Ruins, it seems like, stopping to charge her car and networking with the Chaotix to help the cause. Shadow and Batman riding through Radical Highway, much similar, along with Green Lantern and Silver flying high, nothing to report. But Tails and Cyborg almost have a tracker online, hang tight, as Darkseid arrives back on the Ragnarok, asking Desaad what is the delay on fighting the other emeralds. He says the nature of these gems are chaotic in and of itself. It's as if they're trying to actively hide from the Father Box. Darkseid orders his enforcers to be sent down and scour the globe for the emeralds, burn the planet to the ground and find them through the ashes if need be. I'm going to apply this to the dimensional engine to see if it's worth all this trouble. Tails and Cyborg catch that more of these Apocalypse forces were being sent out of the Ragnarok, and they decide to cross-reference the data and determine where the emeralds could be, send that data to the League. Particularly, we see Sonic and the Flash running through the ocean, Flash saying that he can move within a pictosecond. Sonic says it's adorable how his speed can even still be measured. It's not going to stop. It's never gonna stop.
These two, they're just it's an endless cock measuring competition. It's very funny.
Batman comments how, though we have a plan of action, what's the contingency? Darkseid already has mythic arcane power and can get more. We may not be able to counter that. Superman insists that they will get the emeralds and retrieve the one from Darkseid. We will not fail this world. But Wonder Woman says that they do need a backup plan in case things get dire, as Cyclops calls in saying that he already has an emergency boom tube set up the watchtower so we can at least have an immediate exit. Green Lantern says that there won't be enough to evacuate the planet. Can't we do better than that? Superman says again, we'll rise to the occasion like we always do. And if we need extra help, we can put our faith in our new friends. So the group are sent on their way through their coordinates, already coming across Darkseid forces. Amy and Wonder Woman are seen fighting Lashina in either Green Hill or Palm Tree Panic. I can't really tell which is which, but that's the idea.
Yeah, neither can I. Silver and Green Lantern are fighting against, I actually don't know who this is.
Mantis,
okay. They're fighting against Mantis. While Superman and Knuckles take on...
Calabac.
Yes, Calabac. And finally... Oh my god. Bro, it's Aura Farming Central out here. Steppenwolf has obtained a singular Chaos Emerald in Radical Highway. The mortal man and the tiny animal wish to challenge Steppenwolf? Very well, I will award your heads along with the gem to my lord Darkseid. Batman throws a Batarang, which explodes in a blinding light. A pathetic attempt to blind me, mortal? As Shadow grabs the Chaos Emerald out of his hands. Not blind, distract, chaos control while blitzing him with a barrage of punches and taking him down.
So with the emerald secured, Batman is impressed, couldn't even see him move. Shadow says that's what chaos control is, and Batman thinks that this could be the key to stopping Darkseid, until they feel the bridge rumble and sway, see blue crackling energy surrounding them, Sonic and Flash jumping over a fissure over the ocean that it's creating, Tails and Cyborg getting a over the sky look exactly at how it's spreading out. Darkseid has inserted his emerald into the dimensional engine. He sees the very essence of space and time warping, and all this damage being done because of one emerald, with all 7 universes. So Batman comes in, we're out of time, we need to focus on Darkseid now, but we have no means of reaching Ragnarok, and even with Tails' fleet of planes. But Flash calls in saying that we've probably got to volunteer for a rideshare, as he and Sonic look up into the sky and see, I guess, the third egg carrier that Eggman's got.
How does he? I feel like he just has like the like 5 on speed dial, man. Like he's just always has one, you know.
Well, he comes down on the Eggmobile, meeting Sonic and Flash on the island, and he shows up trying to aura farm, assuming Sonic has already been entangled with this new interdimensional invading force. So Flash asks, wild guess, this is your nemesis, right? Yup. Dr. Eggman, mad mechanical genius trying to take over the world. And bald, too. Superman's got one of those back home.
Oh, he sure does.
Eggman says he's here against his better judgment, but this threat necessitates extraordinary measures. So he offers to get the group up to the Ragnarok, so they can handle it. Sonic, is this guy trustworthy? For the short term, yeah. Stands to lose as much as we do. So, everyone's rounded up, the egg carrier shielding itself from the Ragnarok's beams, and takes a direct impact in one of its eyes, letting the group in, and Eggman demands they make it snappy. I won't let anyone else conquer my world. And as they crash through parademons, Wonder Woman makes the offhand comment about staying behind to handle Eggman herself, which Amy says she would very much like to see that, but you gotta say she definitely would break his fucking spine. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, man, all I'm saying is if any of these guys went toe-to-toe with Eggman, done in maybe 0.5 seconds less, I mean, you know, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, right?
Yeah. Green Lantern clears a path through, letting Sonic and Flash search for the Dimensional Engine and Darkseid, which Flash ends up finding at first, faster than Sonic, may he add. Sonic comes back around saying he got lucky since he went through the other way. Cope, little man. That's crazy. Telling him cope.
Cope, little man is like that's a top 10 line right there. Holy bro. Elite dialogue in this crossover, I swear to God.
Darkseid says he will give them credit for one thing. Your world has tenacity, and uses beams to hit Superman coming in for a sneak attack. He tells Sonic and the Flash to pick up the pace, them calling a truce here, as Batman calls to neutralize the device and get the Emerald back. The whole of the group convenes on Darkseid, him and Superman colliding punches, John and Silver make constructs to crush him and hold him in place, and Wonder Woman lassos him down with Knuckles having to support her. Shadow approaches him calmly, Emerald in hand, calling him pathetic for struggling against this. Don't underestimate him. Go! And Shadow taps into the chaos energy and induces chaos control, which, by the way, this panel in the back is probably one of the sickest pieces of art from anything Sonic comic related in general. When this comic dropped, there was like a redraw challenge being posted around. My personal favorite of that, someone drew Tikal doing that with the servers of the 7 Chaos. It's actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, it's elite aura farming. They really need Shadow to aura farm more. He's kind of the aura farmer of this entire franchise right now. Sonic and all the other characters got to catch up, bro. We need a little bit more of that.
It's true. Shadow moves through the stop time as Darkseid, dare I say, pulls a Star Platinum here and talks to Shadow, telling him that the Father Box told him of the Emerald's end of chaos control. That power drew me here. It's not possible. For most mortals, assuredly, but not for you are the ultimate life form. And not for me, for Darkseid is. He throws everyone off, freeing him from the lasso, Sonic offering to distract him again, as Flash can use a Speed Force to distrust the dimensional what's-it. Sonic tries to get the Emerald off Darkseid. You know, for a god, you are really materialistic. Just before Darkseid can fire his beams at Sonic, Superman grabs his head, pulls it up, beams firing into the air, about to hit Flash as John creates a shield to protect him. Flash, however, can't seem to find anything to disrupt the engine, with Cyborg saying, right now the energy is way out of sync. Darkseid was sloppy and crossing over. This Chaos Emerald fluid energy is not playing by any rules. Darkseid having to use the Emerald to blast everyone away from him, but the spikes in energy on the engine ends up throwing the Flash off, and now the engine is supercharged. Cyborg says this is total quantum collapse. Tails figuring time and space won't mean anything in a minute. Darkseid preparing to bend it back to his will, so now they really have to hold the line down. So, Batman calls for Green Lantern, hold the assets, and for Cyborg to ready the boom tube. In other words, Sonic and the gang are held in a little bubble. Cyborg fires the boom tube on them as Amy asks what they're doing, as Batman explains, putting our faith in you. So Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Silver, and Shadow are sent through this boom tube, and crash land on a platform and are met by another of the Justice League, Mr. Terrific, which I have to say, this comic came out before the James Gunn Superman movie came out, so this was another of Ian Flynn doing his homework, truly. And Mr. Terrific looks great, too.
Yeah, also, as an aside, Mr. Terrific is really fucking cool, and they did a really good job making him awesome in that movie, so people are actually interested in this character again, which is really cool.
So he asks who they are and why the League sent them. He figures they're from the world that Darkseid was attacking. Tell said they had no choice, reality was collapsing, and Amy asked to reopen the boom tube to get them back to their world. But Mr. Terrific sees there are no coordinates to that target. Your world is gone, along with Darkseid and the League and everyone. And as we see, Sonic and the gang have been transported to the Justice League's watchtower in low orbit in the Justice League's Earth. To clarify, it's not clear if this is like Earth Prime for the DC universe or one of those adjacent worlds. It's probably one of those adjacent worlds. Doesn't matter.
I mean, let's just assume it's quote-unquote Earth Prime, because multiverse bullshit in DC is a nightmare that I would refuse to get into. But that is the end of issue 2. A very good end, I would say. Obviously, the dialogue and the banter is fantastic, but the thing that really makes me happy, and I kind of like this, the DC characters kind of got removed from their own story. It's an interesting way to do the crossover.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is, considering that Ian Flynn is the one writing it, they definitely considered more that this is a Sonic-focused story rather than a DC-focused story, which, hey, that's a way to do it, and maybe the supposed sequel may swing back and make it more DC-focused. I don't know, but, that's definitely something to think about.
I would really like to see, if we do get that sequel, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I really would like to see a little bit more focus on the Justice League next time, because I do think there's a lot there that could be massive. It could be really, really cool.
So, let's start with issue 3, again, Flynn and Thomas. We open on Knuckles demanding Mr. Terrific send them back to their world, but he repeats, there is no world for you to go back to. And Sonic tells him to calm down, don't punch the messenger here. Silver figures at least Darkseid is gone too, which Amy gives him shit for saying that, but, everyone is gone now. I'm sorry, Amy, I'm just trying to find some good in all this. But Tails isn't so sure it's gone, given the nature of the engine and the energy supplied by the Chaos Emerald. Up, Tails? Sonic starts, what do you got? What do you got for me? I need more time to work this out, as the League brought them plenty of it. Mr. Terrific notes that eventually the villains of the world are going to realize that 6 of the greatest heroes are gone. I can put the rest of the League on high alert, but it's going to get ugly. As we see Shadow looking out on the window, thinking to himself that he failed Maria, I couldn't protect the world that you loved. So what should I do? Carry on here and protect this world and these people? Sonic asks Mr. Terrific, could your world handle us taking the place of the League? He says, well, between metahumans, aliens, and interdimensional visitors, I don't really think anyone will give you guys a second glance. As we see in the back, Silver has in his hand a Green Lantern ring, and he just quickly puts it on, and his next shot seen wearing the uniform of the Green Lantern Corps. He says John gave him the ring as they passed through the tube. Does this mean I've been recruited? It means he put his trust in you. The League puts all of their trust in you. So if you're going to join the Justice League, you're going to need to dress the part. So this is also the other fun aspect of the crossover, is all the Sonic characters are going to dress like their, given counterpart, effectively.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And I think most of the designs translated pretty well. I think Knuckles looks a little goofy, but I think for the most part, everyone looks really good. And, the less we say about Shadow, the better, because, oh my fucking god, it looks perfect.
Yeah, look, we'll get to that when we get to that. And look, I'm not saying it's out of character. I'm not saying he wouldn't do it. I just want to see them talk him into it. I would have liked to see them talking him into it.
Honestly, I feel like Ian pitched for the Shadow needs to be in the suit, and he'd be like, don't be ridiculous. Before, they have to explain, look, you have to do it because we need some level of semblance that they're still there, right? And then he's like, but I still don't want to do it. And then Sonic and him get into a back and forth about the outfit, and I think that would have been perfect. But I get why they didn't do it. It's probably too much page space, especially with what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, let's put a pin in that. Let's put a pin in that. We then move to space, Sector 2006. That's Ian. We love you, Ian. That's our Ian. Silver is seen fighting Sinestro with other Green Lantern Corps members, Kilowog, Tamar Ray, and Chip, who's an alien squirrel.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Silver doesn't feel out of place with this cast of characters, you know, considering how like weird like and out there the Green Lantern Corps are. Yeah, also we're fighting against Sinestro. Hey, that's cool. I like the Green Lantern stuff. I think it's cool. So hey, sure, get Sinestro in there. Fuck it.
So Sinestro manifested a 3-headed dragon with his powered-up Yellow Lantern battery. They take a hit from it directly, and they're all just dazed floating in space. But Silver gets himself together and starts reciting, "In brightest day," and ends up leading the rest of the Corps. "In blackest night, no evil shall escape our sight, and let those who worship evil's might beware our power, Green Lantern's light." And together, they manifest a giant warhammer, which mostly looks like Amy's, as a Sinestro gives the Willem Dafoe react.
He's like, oh. And then as Silver hits the "What's the matter, Sinestro?" scared, and smashes the 3-headed dragon to pieces with the other Lantern Corps. This is awesome. I love stuff like this, and Silver getting to lead the Green Lantern battle cry, so to speak, is so cool. This is awesome.
So Sinestro escapes, but ends up leaving his battery behind. Chip digs into it and finds that the battery was powered by the Yellow Chaos Emerald. Silver's surprised, thinking that it was supposed to be left behind with his home reality, so I'll have to report this to the friends. I'll have to ask one of the other Earth Lanterns to fill in for me, like Kyle or Hal or Guy or Simon or Jessica or Joe. Or he's gonna be here a while. He's gonna be here a while.
I do like this. I do like this a lot. This is a good bit. I'm a big fan of it.
And look, for those that don't know, the kind of like lore thing is that like each sector of the Green Lanterns are supposed to have like only one Green Lantern representative. So I just like to think that the Earth is just so fucked up they need more than one Green Lantern.
I mean, honestly, considering how things go in Earth, yeah, I can see it.
Anyway, we move back to Earth, Washington, D.C., normally protected by Wonder Woman, but now is laid under siege by extremists from Gorilla City, led by Gorilla Grodd, who is literally just a talking gorilla.
Yeah, gorilla with psychic powers, some light mind control. He's very powerful.
Having already overpowered Hawkgirl and Supergirl, thanks to a mysterious new power strengthening his psychic powers tenfold, telling them that they should be honored to be joining his conquest of this pitiful nation. And he ends up getting tied down by the lasso of truth, hearing that a tactical genius would have known better than to let his guard down. He's yanked back, helmet thrown off, and is downed by Amy. And obviously she's got the Wonder Woman fit on. Her hammer has the Wonder Woman logo. Honestly, pretty good design. I love it.
Yeah, I think she looks adorable, and I think it's a slam dunk from me, Chief. She even got the tiara. She looks like an absolute legend, bro.
Yep, and her response is to fucking smash Gorilla Grodd in the gut with her hammer. The gorillas end up opening fire on Amy, saying she's just one hedgehog, until Supergirl recovers, charges in, saying she's worth 100 of you. And she helps up Hawkgirl, saying that she's ready to get back in the fight, but first, smash the overpowered mind control device. But Amy shouts for her to stop, and sees in its hold it's the red Chaos Emerald, telling Hawkgirl that it came from her home. So if it's here, then maybe... Until she collects herself, let's get these invaders out first. As that goes on, we then move to Metropolis, Superman's home, being guarded by Knuckles, and yeah, he does look a little silly in the Superman fit. Just a little bit, though. But...
Just a little. Mind you, it's not bad, but it does look just a little silly. I can't tell why. There's something
it's just kind of on the nose. Like, look, in the case of, like, Amy, for example, it was adapted to fit her, whereas with Knuckles and the Superman, the Superman costume is so like basic. There's really not that much wiggle room you have, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of set in stone. I also think it's the red on blue on red, right? Because like Clark being like a human is also part of like the thing where it's like the blue, the red, and a little bit of the white, right? Because it's supposed to be like America based, right? Like the colors of the flag. But like with Knuckles, him being like full red makes it a little bit awkward in terms of like the way that it looks. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. That's how I
gotcha.
Yeah. It's cool, though. It's still cool.
He's flying over the city, thinking to himself that this really isn't so bad. It's not nearly as big as patrolling Angel Island. On the other hand, it's a city. Lots of layers to keep track of. So bright and noisy. Hard to keep track of it all. But Superman did it and looked after the whole world too. So I'm going to have to work extra hard to be as good of a guardian as him. So he flies near the Daily Planet building and meets Lois Lane, asking if there's any news from Star Labs. No, but the League has been kind enough to keep her updated on what's going on, but there's still no news on finding Superman or the others. Knuckles says that Tails has been looking into it with the Teen Titans. Until then, I've got things covered. Oh, about that, Lex called. He wants to speak with you. 1, he knows she's the only one he talks of outside of the League, and 2, that means he wants something. I tell him to shove it, but if it's about Clark and the others, Knuckles says he's on it, and glides off. Careful, he's more dangerous than he seems. All these bald evil geniuses are all the same.
So true, King. This is small, but I do like Knuckles and Lois Lane's interaction. It's nice. It's like, well, she knows in this universe, right? And like their interactions are more of like informant and like helper, which I think is cute. I think this is nice.
Yeah, and it also kind of goes to show that like it does seem like a significant amount of time has passed between Sonic and friends landing on this world and getting themselves acquainted with their world, so to speak.
Yeah, it seems like there's been a significant amount enough time that where everyone kind of knows that like, oh, these are the interim guys while they're gone, you know?
Yeah. Knuckles flies down to the LexCorp building with Lex Luthor still inside his office, and he hears a loud slam, checking to see that it's Knuckles latching onto his building. Slower than a speeding bullet and as subtle as a locomotive. I got your message, Luthor. What do you want? Peace. I've been watching you for some time, and unlike your predecessor, you don't flaunt godly powers. You're more capable than most humans on top of that. You're taking the burden on with your natural talents. I respect that. I am a man of considerable means, and I can support you in ways the League cannot, and will not. We could be quite the influence. What do you say? I've heard this shtick before. You've been watching me? Then you better know I'll be watching you. A pity. You share the Kryptonian's moral failings. I wonder, do you share his weakness too? And pulls out a green, shining gemstone, which leaves Knuckles to snatch it out of its box. Oh, it's a Chaos Emerald. You finally did something right, Luthor. Chaos Emerald? Take it as a token of my generosity. Think hard about the work we could do together.
So Knuckles glides off, right? As Luthor picks up a glass of what we assume is scotch, and he does a complete 180, smashes through, grabs Lex by the collar. Were you trying to poison me thinking this was kryptonite?
Got him. Fucking got him.
Oh God. All right, well, here it comes. High moments and aura.
Yeah, this is kind of the one we've been waiting for. Gotham. A normal night. And I gotta say, they definitely designed it like Batman the Animated Series Gotham.
Oh, they sure did. As an explosion goes off, and a wicked laugh is pierced through the sky. Oh yes, it's the Joker, the clown prince of crime, blowing things up in a murderous rampage. As Shadow, in his own mini Batmobile, rolls in, as Joker calls him the Shadow of the Bat. I like the title. I think it's cool.
And again, like I said, not saying Shadow wouldn't do it. I just want to see the conversation. He does look good in it. It actually does fit him pretty well.
Yeah, it's so clean, bro. It's so easy. It looks so nice.
So, Shadow in behind, Joker says, "Bravo, short stack. I'm surprised you can even reach the pedals." He fires a missile and gets a direct hit on the Batmobile. Shadow is unfazed. He jumps out, keeping up on his air shoes, and spin dashes through Joker's car, cleaning it in half. So he tries to recover and get his rocket launcher back, as Shadow stomps it in half. Not bad, Edgy Hedgy. You certainly have the mood down. You have the makings of a passable replacement. But there's a cadence to this sort of thing. The dreary little Gothamites expect a show. So next time, as Shadow cuts him off, kicks him right across the face, and he's knocked out cold, and drops his brooch, which turned out to be the purple Chaos Emerald, to Shadow's surprise.
Interestingly enough, as Shadow looks at the emerald, he almost winces. I don't what is this specifically about? That's what I was thinking to myself. Maybe it's just because he feels like he couldn't save his world, so maybe he's maybe there's a chance now. But it definitely feels very somber, in a different sort of way for him, you know? Because we don't really see. Yeah,
I get what you mean, and I mean, I took it more as he wasn't expecting to see that, so he was just caught off guard for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's weird. Well, anyways, hey, you guys It Was Me, Barry.
That's a classic, folks. Central
that's
City.
God, that takes me back.
Central City, home of the Flash, seeing Sonic running against Reverse Flash, him holding the blue Chaos Emerald. That thing doesn't belong to you, so hand it over to me and we'll let bygones be bygones. So Reverse Flash begins, you are in no position to make demands, or be wearing that uniform. Pretty judgy for someone called Reverse Flash. Do they not have the Thauruses in the future where you're from? The real Flash was a hero. I saw to that myself, tempered through tragedy and loss. But you're a child playing dress-up, a smart-mouth pretender who lacks the focus and conviction to fill the Flash's boots. You're not good enough to be his replacement. You're not even good enough to be his fake.
Okay,
All right.
Good line.
So-
This makes sense in context. Explain.
It makes sense in context because, like we mentioned before, I did see a lot of people on the timeline complaining about how this is Ian Flynn being referential again. But let me tell you, you know what? Here's the problem. You people, you Sonic fans, you need to engage with other media beyond Sonic. Because, and you know what? I'm even going to go further. Watch CW Flash. I'm going to go as far as say that, because if you even just watch that, you'd understand that Reverse Flash absolutely would say something like that.
I don't know the entire, reasoning behind Reverse Flash, but essentially, isn't he an alternate version of Barry that went clinically insane somehow and decides to and basically fucks Barry over and causes a lot of awful shit in his life to temper him and turn him into the ultimate rival? Remind me, is this the correct, thing, or am I wrong?
He's from, an alternate future. He's not a version of, Barry in particular, but everything else was mostly correct.
Okay, then yes. So it makes sense why he would essentially be like, hey, you're not even good enough to be his fake, because Reverse Flash essentially sets up Barry to be the identical copy of himself that he can have the showdown with, right? So yeah, this makes sense in context. This is fine. Guys, when we want to bitch, it's okay to bitch, but learn to have bitching with restraint. If we're just bitching to bitch and we don't have a reason to bitch, you just look like a fucking moron. Anyways,
on top of that, my comment still stands. Engage with other media.
I feel like that goes without saying. Hey guys, you guys want to see Sonic Aura Farm? Fuck this shit. Gotta admit, whew, you're pretty fast. As Reverse Flash cries out, I'm the fastest man alive, unchallenged now, and you'll never retrieve your precious... What? When did, as the Chaos Emerald has now been swapped out with a crushed can? Oh, sorry, did I move too fast for you to see? Let's try again. Don't blink. As Sonic uses Chaos Control in a sick fucking panel to lay the absolute smackdown on this motherfucker. Look, man. I get you want to make Sonic a trickster, but when stuff like this happens, I'm just like, man, that's a cool-ass guy. That's my goat. That's always gonna be my goat. That's so cool, man.
That's how you do it, folks. He mutters to himself, so fast. He tap into... No, it wasn't the Speed Force. He's using the Emerald to warp. That's my secret, champ. Now take a nap while I take care of business. So he calls his friends, saying, hey guys, you won't believe what I found in Central City. Amy responds, she's flying in, saying everyone found a Chaos Emerald recently. No one was able to call you, though. Also, cute touch, her car has also become invisible. That's fun. Sonic says he took care of something real quick, but it's all wrapped up, so I'll race you there. So Sonic arrives to the Hall of Justice, meeting the rest of the League there, including Tails, having made an armor suit that resembles Cyborg.
Oh god!
It's unfortunate that we didn't have a moment of Tails working with the Teen Titans. I guess it was just they had to compromise with page space, but we were robbed.
We sure were. And I hope you guys are ready for the most violent jump scare you'll ever see in your entire life. So, Tails, Amy, Shadow, Silver, Sonic, and Knuckles approach a green echidna who says, hold on, security check, only one otter on the planet. Knock it off, Beast Boy, says Tails. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Knuckles is an echidna and is sensitive about that sort of thing. Anyway, can you look after things? We got a big decision to make. You can count on me. As Sonic and Knuckles in the back says, well, at least we know you'd look awful in green. Keep it up and I'll introduce you to the Phantom Zone projector. So, guys, Ian, let's sit down. So let's have a nice little talk here, Ian. You're a sick man, Ian. You're a sick man for referencing Archie Sonic like this, you son of a bitch.
In the words of many, based? Hello, base department.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I need to know how. Listen, we know how Sega is in regards to Archie Sonic. How did you sneak that through, man? Did you just roll the dice and think that they wouldn't know?
I think he did it intentionally, and I think Adam Bryce Thomas, his eyes widened, were like, "Are we sure?" He's like, "Dude, they won't know. They won't care. Only those who know. Those who know." TM.
And on top of that, like, Knuckles specifically calling out the Phantom Zone projector. The Zone of Silence was from Sat AM, not Archie, so it wasn't like him getting inspired by it, but like it's the same idea. It's the same idea.
I have no words, bro. That insane elite jump scare. Thank you, Ian. Very cool.
Inside, the group presents each of their emeralds, including Tails, who got the Great Emerald from a fight with Brother Blood. Tails has been working on a hypothesis, and now he can finally test it. Using the Chaos Emeralds, a radar activates and finds the 7th Cyan Emerald on another planet, seemingly their original Earth. Booyah, I knew it! So their world did survive, but Mr. Terrific said it was wiped out. Tails says no, he said he couldn't detect it. Maybe Darkseid's engine malfunctioned and hid their world in a pocket dimension. With the other emeralds, they can resonate with one another and we can get back home. But Shadow asks if they even should. Why do you have to be like this? If our world survived, that means Darkseid survived. Opening a way home leaves his planet vulnerable to invasion. Knuckles says the Justice League was ready to give up their lives to save our world. They would take the chance if the situation were reversed, no matter the cost. It's not a matter if we're doing this. It's how soon do we get started. All in favor? And everyone agrees, including Shadow. Besides, Amy asks, you're telling me you don't want another shot at Darkseid? So at the Watchtower, they've set the coordinates with Mr. Terrific. He warns it's outside the acceptable parameters, however. But Sonic says it'll be fine with the Chaos Emerald powering the stabilizer. We should be pulled safely to the other side. Boom tube opens, and Mr. Terrific gives the gang a farewell. Mr. Terrific gives the gang a farewell. For what it's worth, you made a damn fine Justice League. So they cross the boundary into the tube, and Tails sounds off, let's go be heroes.
All right. That was a great issue and super fun. That was really awesome. I hope you guys are excited, because now it's time we get the flip side of that. So while Sonic and the gang were on DC's world, what were the DC guys doing on Sonic's world?
So that's the subject of issue 4. So we start the Ragnarok. Just before Sonic and the gang were sent to the Justice League's Earth, Clark and Diana held Darkseid down, and the three take the brunt of the Dimensional Engine's flames. Flash is able to grab Shadow's red emerald and throws it to Cyborg. After sending Sonic and his friends away, Cyborg powers himself up with the emerald and uses his cannon to blast his way out of there, either as a wall or a portal. Either way, we're gonna find out. So Green Lantern protects them all with a bubble construct as they move forward as the engine's oddities start engulfing the interior. They pop out through the surface, the Ragnarok in the sky seemingly caught in a dimensional rift. John said he's never felt strong energy reactions like that. His constructs wouldn't have lasted much longer, as Batman sees that the engine is destabilizing the planet. Superman sees, though, the Ragnarok is taking the brunt of the effect, but it might be enough to keep Darkseid occupied. Cyborg, any more insight? Batman is right. Space-time is in flux, and I can't get a clear path back to our world. The only thing keeping things stable is the emeralds. I've got an idea, but I'm gonna need the other 5 emeralds to do it. Flash thinks the search is already narrowed, so let's wrap this up fast. Superman adds to help those in need as well. This planet is going to need our protection now more than ever. So then the first stop we see Water Palace, Blaze holding off parademons on her own, while also fighting more of Darkseid's enforcers.
Yay, Blaze content. Yay. Yay. Thank you, Sega. Thank you. More of this character. Thank you.
The enforcers in question, Stompa and Mad Harriet, trying to stomp Blaze to death. So Harriet tells Stompa be careful not to break Lord Darkseid's prize, but Blaze, having the purple emerald in hand, not knowing why they want it so bad, but will fight to her last breath. So let's make it happen. But Harriet is yanked back by Wonder Woman's lasso. You call yourself the female Furies, but you're nothing compared to the real ones. Well, stomp your guts out, as Wonder Woman lassoing Stompa and pulling her back down, as parademons fire energy from their spears at her. She quickly reflects the beams with her arm guards and uses the hog-tied Furies to knock the parademons out of the sky. And then meets with Blaze, introducing each other, and asks if she's willing to part with the emerald. Well, under normal circumstances, no, but I see your valor and nature clearly. Firstly, we should ensure that these threats are dealt with. Then let us rejoin the battle. Very kindred spirits of these two. I like it.
Yeah, this is a cute interaction. I don't think if we do get when we get the second crossover, if we do, I would like to see these two interact a little bit more. I think it could be very cute.
Yeah, pin in that.
Okay, so we got Shadow aura farming. Guys, it's time for Batman aura farming. DC does this already enough, but hey, he has to go do it in an entirely separate universe now, I guess.
So Batman on his bike is chasing after Metal Sonic with the gray Chaos Emerald on Radical Highway. Of course.
Of course, bro. This shit is gas, by the way. This is so cool.
Metal dashes up the wire with Batman firing a grappling hook and latching on Metal's foot, him grabbing hold and being launched with him. Batman launches 3 batarangs to Metal, him deflecting all of them and falling down, being released from the hook. He lands and sees Batman falling from above, and in the distraction, realizes the bike is still going and, to put it lightly, gets fucking Asgard.
Yeah, gets completely and totally owned. Batman picks up the emerald, and that's another one grabbed. All right, man. Yes, Batman, we see the fit.
And we love the fit.
We do.
Which, speaking of which, it basically is just like the Dark Knight Returns fit, mixed in with a little bit of the animated series as well. But, we love to see it.
Yeah. This one was, I was confused, but I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. It's a good bit.
So we move to the Lost Hex. Listen, the Sonic series just needs more villains, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
And many are saying. Anyways, continue.
Lava Mountain Castle, Flash dashing through calling the Badniks weird-looking parademons. As he arrives to the castle, met by another of Darkseid's enforcers, Baron Vermin, with a very bad German accent who's very much supposed to be like that.
Oh, yes.
He says, "Oh, you're too late, Flash. I, the brilliant Vermin Wunderbar, have won the day." This guy has the Chaos Emerald and the Cacophonic Conch and has the Deadly Six under his control and orders them to tear him limb from limb. So your weird shell controls the Rainbow Coalition of critters? And you're just saying that out loud? Okay. So Baron starts sweating and runs to snatch the Conch and Emerald out of his hands, effectively freeing the Deadly Six. Zavok thanks him for freeing him, but now you must fight me for the Emerald, and we will bring war on the planet below. Relinquish it to me, and I will make your end mercifully swift. Uh-huh. Are you fast at all? My strength is more than enough to... I'll talk in claws. Got it. Look, I'd love to stay in style on you, but I got a world to save. Bye. He rushes away. Zavok calls him a coward and as bad as Sonic. That's how you do it, boys. That's how you do it.
Good bit. I like this. So Flash then bolts down from the Lost Hex and returns to Never Lake, crashing over the water like the Sonic CD intro, which is cute. Oh my god, this place is amazing! Flash to Justice League, Yellow Chaos Emerald secure. I know we're short on time, but apparently Empire City has an 8-lane highway loop-de-loop. I have to experience that. I'll be quick. Oh, I hope you guys are ready for some good shit, because, man, this is the best part of this whole comic for me.
In the sky above, we see the Egg Fleet. Eggman boasts with Darkseid hoisted by his own petard, and with Sonic missing along with his menagerie of miscreants, nothing will get in the way of my glorious conquest. The world will finally belong to the Eggman Empire. And then gets a warning alert directly in front of him. What in the... Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Superman? And he flies through each of the Egg Fleet battalion one by one, destroying all the planes in a fell swoop. And Superman comes in closer to Eggman. You just helped us confront Darkseid. It's a little early for your inevitable betrayal, don't you think? Well, you know what they say, Man of Steel. Strike while the iron's hot. As he enters and pilots the Egg Emperor, thrusting the lance forward to Superman as he only holds out the palm of his hand as the lance splits open 3 ways upon contact.
So, 2 things. First of all, Superman blasting through all of the battalions is, I'm pretty sure, like a soft reference to the Sonic Unleashed opening where Sonic goes super and just blasts through that entire battalion, right? And, by the way, yeah, man, Eggman is so fucked if this guy was ever here for longer than maybe a month. As Eggman now cowers in fear, holding up his shield, no, stay back, as he throws the shield to the side effortlessly.
Even leaving a crater to the wall on impact, showing, yes, he would be absolutely fucked.
Egad, man, have a little decency and engage in some pre-battle banter. Your world is in peril. Well, I'll never understand the ambition of people like you. Surely, self-preservation should be a part of your calculus. Don't try to moralize me, you tourist. The Chaos Emerald, where is it? Down in the reactor room. 10 floors down before the engine, you can't miss it. Thank you. As Superman leaves, and Eggman says, at least use the elevator and don't wreck any battleships. Oh, I hate that Kryptonian. I will say, by the way, I do like that we are showing that, yes, Superman also does get sick of people's bullshit, and he's also tired of people like Eggman, and most likely sees a lot of Luthor in him. So the dismal attitude is, it makes sense.
Again, another pin to leave in the board. So, Emerald secured, one invasion force neutralized, Superman reports. We then move to the Luminous Forest in the Mystic Jungle. Another of Darkseid's enforcers, Granny Goodness, is trying to get the green emerald from Wisp protecting it. She uses her staff to hold a few in place as the Wisp with the emerald hold themselves into a little tree hollow. She notices that because of how much energy they hold, they can't help but act out. But your loving Granny will find a good use for that power by draining every last watt from your little bodies. As Green Lantern drops an anvil construct near her, telling her to stop traumatizing the aliens. She fires a yellow laser from her staff, saying that this is a way that she found to fight against Green Lanterns, as John is hit back at the tree where the Wisps were hiding. He tells the Wisp to go back to cover until all of the Wisps converge into the Lantern Ring, and John plays along. From across the stars, born from one mother, they give their powers to another. So let evil now discover the unmatched mat of all colors, and fires unlimited colors from his ring. And the Wisps thank him for dealing with her. Another fun thing is that the Green Lantern Ring also translates alien language, so John is able to talk with them.
That's interesting, actually. But hey, I can't lie, this was pretty cool. This is more of like a minor interaction, but it is cool that like we get to see like a really unique ability used by another character that you really would never think that would get to use that ability. So hey, I'll give them props. This is a cool way of integrating that,
Yeah, and if I had a nickel for every time this comic used unlimited colors, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird it happened twice.
Actually true.
He has the green emerald in tow. Granny should not interact with them any further. You guys should be fine. So when he flies off, he tells them to tell their friends to hide for now. Who knows what else they'll run into. But he does notice that the Green Lantern Ring is running out of juice, and he doesn't have his lantern battery with him. So he puts the emerald on the ring, it supercharges his powers, and he flies off at super speed. We move to Tails' lab. Cyborg says, now understanding how emeralds react to one another, he sees the Ragnarok's dimensional engine has distorted the surrounding space-time, too much of them to boom tube out of. However, I can use the emerald's powers to punch out to their world, which should create a conduit back to this world. Unfortunately, Cyborg can't determine when or where the emeralds will appear, but Superman again says, have faith. It's the reason we sent them through, isn't it? Cyborg sets the retriever outside and sends the emeralds off to their world. Wonder Woman prays to Hera to guide their journey, as Superman comments that Darkseid's enforcers are still terrorizing this world, so we'll have to keep busy. Although off to the side, Flash does tell Batman about the loop-de-loops in Empire City, as Batman says he will start his next patrol from there. This is like a perfect sign of, in my opinion, the best Batman writer understands that at the end of the day, Batman still has that little kid in him.
Yeah, and sometimes the little kid gets to come out and he gets to have like a fun little ooh, that actually sounds really nice. Because yeah, Batman's a edgy guy who's been through a lot, but he's also got a kid's heart, and that's why, especially in a lot of stories where Batman has to interact with children or deal with children's problems, it's always something where you could tell that they relate on some level and that there's an unspoken bond between them,
Exactly. So John asks Cyborg when we can expect them to come back. On this planet's borrowed time, ultimately, the rules of space-time go out the window with these circumstances, so he tries to run an equation, but it doesn't matter, as a boom tube opens in front of them on the spot with Sonic and the gang in their Justice League fits. Superman welcomes them home, as the Flash says it took them long enough.
Well, we are now at the end of the crossover, issue 5. We also never said the name of the comics crossover, the actual story itself. Chaos Crisis, which is obviously meant to be a reference to Crisis on Infinite Worlds.
Of course. So the Ragnarok. Many space-time distortions at its center. Darkseid and the 7th Emerald should still be in there. Beyond that, Cyborg can't determine anything solid, as the Justice League admires the outfits of each of their counterparts. So Tails asks Cyborg how he pulled off the boom tube escape, in which he says he just slapped the emerald in his arm and hoped for the best. Well, hey, if it works, it works. Seeing as Tails upgraded, they probably should work on something to make their entrance more precise. Help me crunch the numbers. Silver tells John the Corps never gave up hope, though Guy was crass about it. It takes all kinds, and he grows on you with time. More like you build up a tolerance. You're not wrong. Which, speaking of which, if we're on the topic of the James Gunn Superman, if you told a Green Lantern fan that the most accurate, live-action representation of a Green Lantern would be Guy Gardner, they probably would go, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to make Guy Gardner the way he is. It's pretty great. Superman and Knuckles are talking back and forth. Everything in the Fortress of Solitude is okay. Your little alien zoo is fine. You're about to take care of most of it while you are away. I was busy teaching Luther who's boss. Oh boy. Gotham, Batman says, your city is safe. Under control, present crisis aside. Joker, blow up the Batmobile. It happens.
Again, another good Batman writer will show that Batman does have a sense of humor. Albeit dry, but it's there. It's there. Amy was telling Wonder Woman how amazing Themyscira is, and she really bonded with everybody despite not being there for long, and is jealous of the sisterhood there. As Diana says, you're one of us now. No matter how far you are, the Amazons are with you in spirit. Very cute, very sweet.
Okay, so I'm gonna say some shit. I think it'd be really epic if when they go back for the second round of the crossover, Amy gets to go to Themyscira, and they get to all vibe out together, and Amy gets a training montage with the Amazons.
Actually, would be kind of peak.
Yeah, it would be absolutely peak. We need that shit. Oh, and these two chuckle fucks that we're about to see, I need these two fucking doing God knows what, because man, this dialogue is perfect.
Flash tells Sonic how he got the emerald from Zavok. Guy couldn't do anything. And as for Sonic, he had fun dealing with the Flash's rogues. But then, there was this one guy who showed up, and then Cyborg interrupts. We finished the teleporter to blast right into the Ragnarok, using the same trick as before. Hopefully we can get in close enough to get that last emerald, and once we have all 7, undo the damage Darkseid did. Cyborg's cannon is at the ready, supercharged with the emeralds, and the two leagues open their way right into the interior of the dimensional engine, where Darkseid has been waiting for them all this time. Inside, however, Darkseid has been using the countless ages to master this distorted space-time, to bend it to his will. Cyan Emerald in hand, he manipulates the rock into the form of a titan, and demands they come face him and die. The hand stretches out to them, Superman and Knuckles flying through it to break it down, Amy and Wonder Woman following suit as Batman tells Shadow to use tear gas, flashbang, every repellent you got. Well, it's not enough to stop a god, but as Batman demonstrates, it'll buy a few seconds, and that can make all the difference. Tails and Cyborg with the emeralds in hand notice the distortion is giving an energy output on par with the emeralds, but if it has the same properties, we can pull it into our inverter, so that's all that's left to handle is the last emerald. John and Silver hold Darkseid's arms in chains, but he's able to release it and swat the two down. But as that does, it releases the emerald, which lets Sonic catch it and gets it to their tech support, where unfortunately they have no space to run, and trying chaos control here might make things worse. But Flash has an idea. Match me step for step and we'll race over there. Question is, can you keep pace? Sure, I think I can slow down for you.
The panel we get here where Sonic and Flash are using each other's feet to run with each other at pace is so cool. This is such a good idea. I'm a big fan of this.
Darkseid notices what's happening and fires Omega beams towards Sonic, and having to think fast, jumps off Flash's steps and slams dunk the emerald into the inverter right as the beams hit Sonic. But in doing so, all 7 emeralds collected, what happens? Of course it does. Sonic is now supersonic. A little note here, maybe this was more on Sega's part. A little unfortunate we don't have a golden Flash outfit for supersonic, but that's just me. Maybe Sega said no, and if they did, they're bitches.
Yeah, I feel like I actually am gonna backtrack on that. I don't think it was Sega who said no. I think it was DC. I think DC may have turned it down. They probably want to feel it out before maybe giving Sonic a super form of some kind. Within an outfit, because that does create IP shit or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see maybe in the future. However, in one of my absolute favorite panels in this whole comic, Sonic is understandably pissed and drop kicks Darkseid in the stomach. But Darkseid, he takes it, holds it, and then slams his face against him, saying, "Yeah, that didn't hurt. That was the barest inch."
Supersonic, though, upon receiving the hit, felt nothing either. A hit like that? You're a featherweight god, huh? Tails having rescued Flash, he comments how he can now turn into a golden god, huh? Show off. Tails worries that Sonic took the emeralds with him, but Cyborg says in doing so, he's supercharged the device. So we can handle the inversion with this, but we'll need sufficient charge as a catalyst. Well, Flash offers to use the Speed Force, one of the 7 fundamental forces of the universe. It should do the trick. Tails offers to use his tails as a treadmill, while Cyborg works to contain the energy of the Speed Force. They do that while everyone else buys time. The rest of the League fights to hold off Darkseid even more, Silver driving Superman into Darkseid, John giving Wonder Woman a Pico Hammer construct to strike with as Amy matches the hit. Shadow and Batman tie him down with grappling hooks, and both plant sticky bombs on his body. One Bat logo and another Dark Arm logo, and explode.
Nice, that's clean.
Darkseid has had enough, no longer wanting to suffer any further indignity, creates a black hole with him at the center, arms reaching out to grab everyone to pull them in. Wonder Woman sees that this is him tearing down the fabric of reality, meaning Darkseid will be taken along with it. Darkseid, though, is not worried. Darkseid is eternal. Darkseid is. Okay, Flash says, now or never, and touches the inverter, and the feedback causes an explosion akin to Chaos Control. Supersonic, next to Superman, calls Flash a show-off as the golden light engulfs their surroundings. The explosion is seen at the center of the two Earths, pushing them away from each other as everyone begins to wake up back where they belong. Superman, over the sky of Metropolis, home, and calls it the League for their situation. Wonder Woman's at DC, John came to at the Watchtower, him and Mr. Terrific celebrating the job well done. We see Flash running through Central City. Interestingly, him having his arms back like Sonic really makes you think, doesn't it, folks?
Aw, that's cute. They've picked up from one another. Aw.
They're friends. Look at them. They're friends. And he says Central Cities never looked better. Batman calls in from Gotham, and Cyborg wakes up in front of the Hall of Justice. We did it. So does this mean everything went right for our friends too? Cyborg says, well, we ran the numbers, and by using the power of the Emerald and Darkseid's engines, Tails continues in their world, in front of Sonic and Amy at their Neverlake picnic. We not only restored everyone to their proper pace spatially, but also reverted everything back chronologically before the invasion. The Master Emerald was never destroyed, as we see Knuckles guarding it on Angel Island. Locations that were attacked are still intact, seeing Shadow and Silver overlooking Sunset City. So in short, we won! And the food's still warm. Sonic says you and Cyborg are heroes, as Amy breathes a sigh of relief that everyone's back safe and sound. But she is sad that all the time spent on that other world and all their friends basically never happened. And Tails just says, yeah, time travel's messy like that. As for Darkseid, he was at the center of that ordeal. When everything reverted, it lost the anchor point in space-time. So we shouldn't bother anyone anytime soon. As Sonic laughs, stuffs his chili dog down, later hater. Though Amy's a little miffed, Sonic doesn't seem to be fazed, but Sonic's like, look at it like this. We had a great adventure, we met awesome people, and came out fine on the other side. Don't sweat the details. And she ultimately agrees and decides she just wants to have her sandwich. But Sonic does think to himself he does wish he could have just one more race to see who's really the fastest. Overlooking the sky, seeing the Justice League friends out there in the wild.
Wow, fantastic. But we're not done! We have a little teaser! Once again, the reckless actions of self-appointed heroes put all of creation at risk as we cut to Metropolis in Luthor's building. But not just for my world, but yours as well. As men of vision, we should be proactive in ensuring this doesn't happen again. As Dr. Eggman is next to him. I couldn't agree more, Lex. Leaving the boundaries between our worlds open was sloppy on their part. It's only right we take advantage of their carelessness. To a glorious new partnerships and to two worlds brought to their knees, showing a combination of Egg Tech and Luthor Tech. A Death Egg Mark Luthor, one might even say. That's the end for now, though, and that's our teaser for the crossover potentially to come.
That's right, folks. So, end of the crossover, end of this story. I gotta say, if my only complaints was I wish there was more of it, they did a damn good job.
Agreed. This crossover could have been a disaster. Like a complete disaster, right? Like, really think about it for a second. You know how easy it is to fuck this up? Like, look, Mega Man is so easy, right? That's such an easy crossover. The two characters are very intrinsically interlinked, like video gamey. But this is comics, like DC with all of its lore and shit, and like Sonic. Like, this is a hard crossover to get right. They nailed it. I think they did a great job.
I agree 100%. And as you noticed, it was only 5 issues. Honestly, I think they really missed an opportunity of not extending this to be like, maybe not 12 issues, but like 10 issues, right? And say maybe each individual issue, like, instead of just getting one issue of all of the Sonic characters as the Justice League, we could have had like basically like mini snippets of each character as their respective hero, and we could have seen a full issue of like Sonic as the Flash. We could have had a full Green Lantern comic with Silver. You know, that's the idea, and have like samplings of those kinds of stories told within this crossover. That would have been a great opportunity. I understand why they didn't do it if they just wanted to test the waters out, but as I mentioned before, they did say that a second crossover is planned, and I think they said it was supposed to be released this year in 2026. So if that's the case, I think that we are completely willing and accepting to have like a more 10, 12 issue, much longer story arc. Honestly, maybe akin to like Worlds Collide, considering the setup is basically Worlds Collide.
I think that we might be able to get that at some point, but I will also say that I worry that maybe as long as it's a side project and doesn't take away from main issue fatigue, because that was something that Worlds Unite had, where it kind of did reach a breaking point of there was a little too much of it going on, you know?
I mean, more in the sense of like it does feel like it was interrupting what was going on, yes. That being said, this being like a side project and the canonity of it being in question did help it in the end. But with Ian kind of teasing that, I kind of do think that the second crossover probably will include like the IDW original characters, and as a result, it will show that it is canon to some extent at least. And I mean, if you want to take things even further, much further, put Shadow's Batmobile in Crossworlds, bro. That's an easy one.
Yeah, that's an easy aura farm, you know, just give it to him, right?
Generally speaking though, great crossover, great comic, and I'm really excited to see more, especially because late last year, it was leaked that, they're also doing toys as part of this crossover collaboration with each of the characters as part of their respective Justice League counterpart. There were some more toys leaked that were supposed to be part of a second wave that showed other characters as part of the DC counterparts that weren't part of this crossover, like Rouge's Catwoman.
Yeah, that's like, bro, that's literally that's the easiest one in the world.
That is the
like,
easiest one, but also like we had like Big as Aquaman and Blaze as Starfire. Those were the ones that was leaked.
Hey, listen, okay. Big aura farming as Aquaman will be generational. I don't think y'all are ready for it, okay? I don't think you guys are ready. I think it will be generational on a level that cannot be described. Blaze of Starfire is perfect too.
Maybe that's what the plans are for the future. And I am looking forward to see what it is. And honestly, we had a great time, great return to form, and yeah, just a great time was had and all. Great episode, another banger in the pipeline. So normally, guys, this is kind of be where I would do the shill of like, subscribe to the Patreon page and all that stuff. But I want to do something a little bit different here and talk specifically to the Spotify audience, the audience that really just listens to us audio only. To not get into too much detail about it, I talked about it a bit more on the pre-show, but suffice to say, the YouTube channel where we normally host all of our videos was the victim of a hack and was deleted, and unfortunately, despite all my efforts, YouTube is not willing to help us restore it. So we made a new channel. The old videos of Archie, Sonic, along with IDW and Fleetway are being re-uploaded one by one. So to the Spotify audience, I'm going to include a link in the description below to go subscribe to it and help us rebuild. I don't really reach out to you guys in specific, even though you guys genuinely are actually a big part of our audience. So that's on me. I apologize. But if you guys can't financially support us, going on YouTube and subscribing to the channel will help us a lot more than you realize.
Yeah, it'll help us a lot and will get us more traction because we do need that right now. Come to the party, have a good time. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, we post also a lot of clippets from the Patreon as well. So if you're really interested to know exactly what we do, there's a free sample on there. We do exclusive videos on there as well. Come to the YouTube channel. It'll be down in the link below. And on that note of Patreon, because of the incident that happened, a lot of people actually did reach out and did join the Patreon page to help support us going through this rough time. So I want to shout out the patrons, Neo Noisebomb, who joined at $2 a month, Lily Flower at $5 a month, and Yazoi, who upgraded their pledge to $15 a month. So thank you to all of our patrons for supporting us through this difficult time, but especially to you guys for joining us and uplifting us during this time. That really, really, really means a lot to us, and I really have no word to give the proper thanks to you guys.
Yeah, this whole situation sucks, but we really appreciate the help.
To do the spiel now, patreon.com/SonicSpeed, $2 a month. You'll get all the episodes early alongside our bonus show, which we've been reacting recently to Sonic X. Now we're on the 3rd season, but we've also reacted to Sad AM, AOSTH, Sonic Underground. And that was difficult. We had to make it fun, guys, and it was fun in our own way. But before that, back during the Archie days, we also read the Sonic X comics and the Mega Man comics on there, and maybe with Udon Mega Man coming out now, maybe we can return to that. Who knows? Who knows, right?
Alberto's Century of Humiliation.
Don't talk to me about that. Every day it hurts.
You're never beating the allegations. I'm sorry, it's so good.
That's $2 a month. At $5 a month, you get all that plus the pre-show, aforementioned. You basically get an extra half of the episode there. Talk about really whatever it is we talk about, whatever games we're playing, whatever movies we watch, along with the gaming and Sonic-related news of the day. And whenever Sad AM comes up, we do get the Alberto Century of Humiliation on face.
Understatement, bro.
$15 a month, all of that, plus the video version of the podcast. As always, guys, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being a fan. These past couple of years doing this project, I didn't really think it would get as much traction as it did. I only ever put up the Patreon just as like a secondary archive and, as in like a little tip jar for those that wanted to support us. So it does mean a lot, all this time that is built up. We don't have the biggest audience, obviously, but I think we have a very strong collective group, and that means a lot more to me than anything I could ever do. So thanks a lot, guys. It really does mean a lot.
We appreciate you guys immensely, and we're going to continue our best to try and keep making shit for y'all, because we both enjoy doing it, and we both enjoy having fun with it.
With that being said, the next episode that we do for IDW Sonic is going to be the last 3 issues before this sort of new arc. We're going to have a lot to talk about in regards to not just that, but also how the comics are moving forward, how we're going to be moving forward with those comics as well. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be an important listen. So guys, stick around, stay tuned, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos. Appreciate you guys always. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys then next time.
Peace.
What you see is what